me tell you how it will be.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know that music. That means Bob Loeser. I can stop looking on the side of milk cartons. I can call off the troops because Bob Loeser is back in the house. You've been busy this month, and we've missed you. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. My apologies for not being here sooner in the month, but I had to work the street corners with the sign that says "We'll work for money."
We'll work for money. What a novel idea. So, we always enjoy having you. We get a little shaky when we go too long between games. We're glad to see you. Games, it's kind of like fun. It feels like a game when we're together. So it's like fun, but between segments. I want to talk a little bit about what you see happening on the political front. All of a sudden, the major hitters, the ones rising to the top, of course, we've seen Donald, right from the day he announced, has been the number one candidate without question. Now you've got Ben Carson within 5, and you've got Carly growing faster than anyone except for Ben Carson. So it's 3 outsiders, and I'm beginning to think that they're, and what's so funny about this is that a few years ago, someone like Ted Cruz and someone like Rand Paul would have been considered too inexperienced to even entertain considering them, and now all of a sudden they're like cronies. They're political cronies in the dialogue out there. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I don't remember what movie it was from, but years back someone said, "I'm getting sick of you." And I think that's exactly what the American people are getting sick of, the politicians that are lip service to their constituents and their deep pockets, etc. The 3 that you've mentioned in this case all are outsiders looking in, have no fear of what's on their mind and speaking it, whether it offends one person or 10,000 people, and has a relatively increased backing. Mm-hmm. Now, each have their strengths and each have their weaknesses in particular, and everybody will go after them. I don't care if it's Trump or Carson Fiorina. The others are going after them because they're the ones on the top of the block to be knocked off at this point.
No question about it. No question about it. They are the ones to beat. And who would have predicted that 3 months ago?
No. I think everybody in their, around their dinner tables at home were saying, wouldn't it be nice to have a candidate that spoke what we really think, rather than what they say they're going to do for us until they get to Washington and then they roll out the red carpet for the other side of the aisle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's a lot of people feel like America has become a doormat, and the reason why is we keep on electing people with political credentials that make them like doormats, and really Barack Obama, in a way, who he's such a novice when he took over the White House in 2008. Even now, with 2 years in the U.S. Senate when he got elected president, how laughable is that?
Right.
But I think people have become so cynical. I mean, look at him. He was in there in no time, and how much a part of the machine he became. And so, good luck, Rand Paul. Good luck, Ted Cruz.
I think with Obama, he was so articulate and well-spoken that's what got him into the White House.
As long as he had a teleprompter that worked.
He never ran a business. He couldn't sell a drop of lemonade in a lemonade stand. Has no foreign policy, whatnot, and still became the leader of the modern world.
Yeah.
Okay, and you tell me. I mean, after the books are written, you'll find out how and why, and the underside of the table, so to speak, is what really happened. But I mean, that's a miracle in itself. But now I think the American people have had enough of getting sand kicked in our face by other countries, whether it's China who says, yeah, we've got all your government employees listed now. They were showing something the other day on CNN or whatever that they've actually accumulated it in a Facebook type of fashion. So if you want to pull up Kevin Price, they know not only Social Security number, they know everywhere you've lived since the day you were born, your kids and whatnot. And the fear is that down the road, 10 years from now, someone's going to call one of your kids and say, hey, either give us some juicy on your father who worked for the government, or we're going after ABC, or we're going to blackmail you, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be nice if we turned the tables? We've got smart enough people here to do it.
Yeah.
What would the Chinese do if that was the case, huh?
Yeah. Jefferson said that the government should always fear the people and not the people the government.
Right.
And we're clearly not in that state any longer.
Right.
And I talk a lot, to people who are professional political critics.
Right.
And let me tell you, most of them, of course, are anti-Obama because of my worldview. And all of them have been audited often, frequently,
right.
since 2008.
Right.
It's like, really? Never audited before in their entire lives. The government using institutions for retaliation. I mean, we live in a bizarre time. It's very dystopian, actually. You could write a sci-fi novel, and if you were familiar with our Constitution, you could write in detail about the way we are now, but you'd have to be familiar with our Constitution, which the American people are not. And you'd go, holy mackerel, this is a dystopia.
I mean, things like we've talked about over the past several months about refunds being held up. You know, we had 8 or 10 clients that had $20,000 or more come back, and every time you went online, it said in process or in review or reviewing the return. What's there to review? It's very simple. Guy had a W-2. He paid in too much. He had $20,000 coming back. What are you reviewing?
Yeah, it sounds like arithmetic to me.
Well, it's arithmetic that they didn't have enough cash to pay these refunds back, okay, unless you were entitled or a Democrat or had a smaller refund of maybe $2,000 or less coming back, and they paid all those back
Something convenient.
timely. All right, and then you have other issues about, again, these audits or, coming up. And if you have a no change audit, if they go in and get nothing, they can't come back after you. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't. All right, and if they do make a change, even if it's a $100 change, they could come after you every other year just to be a real pain in the backside. But the other issue we talked about was the fraud that was going on with the government.
Yeah,
people filing fraudulent tax returns. Right, I've had 6 or 7 of them, and we've had to wait to file the real return until the IRS gave us what they call a 5-digit PIN number, secret PIN number, that only the taxpayer can use to file a return. If somebody else tries to use another PIN number or no PIN number, they'll go after them immediately and not process the return. But I've seen people walk away. I mean, when I say heard of people walking away and they think it's a Russian mob, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 worth of refund.
I know in your case, you work a lot with business owners, you work a lot with affluent individuals and individuals of all financial stripes. As someone who's handling tax issues and business financial issues, kind of give me a sense of what your customers are saying, your clients are saying about the political landscape. Or is there a lot of talk about Trump among them as well? I
mean, they think for the most part he's 2/3 real and 1/3 not. So he'll make it to a point, but who's gonna take over? It's sort of like Romney's winning the race, but who's gonna really win it?
Right.
And I think the belief is that they all think he's crazy to the bank, so to speak. And to a degree, in the early stages, I believe that. Okay, in the later stages now, and these are the later stages, he's holding up. They're going to, this week in the debate, they're going to cut him down at the knees. And, he even said, what was it, USS Iowa on Tuesday night that he was on. He said, they're coming after me. I know it. He said, I'm going to be prepared. Somebody said, do you prepare by having someone ask you questions? He said, no. He says, I've had 35 years of life experience to prepare for it. He said, I'm negotiating every day of my life with my business. So this is a walk in the park compared to that.
Yeah, absolutely interesting characters. Interesting to see what happens as we go along.
But I'm waiting for. Only one has dropped out. And if you had told me several weeks ago that Rick Perry was going to be the first one to drop out, I would have told you were probably crazy that there was 3 or 4 others before him.
Yeah.
But why those 3 or 4 others haven't dropped out beats the living daylights out of me. They're not getting free publicity. It's costing them every day.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of a Lindsey Graham being in or?
And he's still being allowed to debate. James Gilmore has been taken off the platform, the former governor of Virginia.
Right.
I can't imagine there's a hair's difference between the
two of them
in terms of polling.
That's right. They would have had a little bit more oxygen in the room if they would have gotten rid of one more, right?
Yeah. I guess so. All right. I've been talking to Bob Loeser, Taxman Bob at pdq.net. We call him Taxman Bob because I tell you, man, he's the kind of guy you want in your corner. Can we hold you for another segment?
I'd love to stay for another segment.
Yeah, we'll talk about stuff that you actually make a living from doing.
I don't work politically any longer? Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum. All right, we'll be back with more right here on The Price of Business.
How it will be. There's one for you, 19 for